But no, he's figured it out. Should gonna? Oh, he loses the
You
limit.
better watch yourself. That sounds like the easiest caster curse in the world. He's
Nah,
figured it out.
No, Caster Curse would have taken effect already. It comes so fast whenever we do it. Oh my god.
Hey.
Look at that shit! You thought he was dead? Nope. He wins.
Dud's looking solid now. Ted's gotten some form of control back. And as I say that, he gets up thrown back aired.
You're the only one Caster Curse over here.
Yeah, apparently.
Close.
He's got to go.
Close. That's gonna do it!
That was a bad approach.
Choke proof. Dud's gonna take that 3-1. Moving on to winners.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final episode of the Baddy Cafe for the regular season. This is Chai.
I'm Albino Joe. Ooh. Right, we in the top 8 territory now.
Yeah, it's been a run. I mean, it's been a run making these shows. It's been a run being in bracket. You've made it 3 times in a row now in top 8. I don't think anyone gave you credit or gave you the odds to do it, so good job to you.
Nah, man. Like, I always go in, like, sneaky. Like, nobody expects me to pop out on the other end, but I do every season.
Speaking of great job, let's get a shout out to our showcase player, Duds. He came second place in his group, Division 1, Group A. He is multi-man melee, is just rings out to him in terms of how many characters he plays, but he plays primarily nowadays Falco and Mewtwo. He is a licensed practitioner of CPR on other people, not on himself. And yeah, he had a very it was hard to pick a showcase player with everyone being good. We talked about it before we started recording. It's everyone's good. Who do we give it to? But Duds and me, when we were talking about it last week, was shown to be like what most people thought was gonna be the closest game, and it didn't feel close. I came out strong, but he just completely reorganized and was able to put in. He was able to avoid that choke that we have a Baddy bingo card for.
Yeah, I mean, and he's showing that he can win because he won season 2, I believe.
He won
Correct?
season 1.
Season 1, got it. He's a former champion. He's a great player. He's been out of that first place limelight for a while now. But he's coming back with a vengeance, man. He wants that first place spot, and he's showing he's a contender. He's a climber.
And he's consistent too. I think that's the number one thing to notice, that he's playing consistently. He's not going for stupid edge guards. He's not putting himself in a spot where he can't recover. And I tried messing with his recovery the entire game, and I just couldn't do it. And he just played smart. So applause to Duds. Definitely looking at this play rate that he's going to make top 3. So hats off. That's our final showcase player this season. Graphic over here, we're going to see the showcase player of each week. And Albino Joe, have you had a favorite so far? Someone that who had one week that you really remember being impressed?
From
all the showcase players we've had.
All the showcase players? I don't know, man. Like each of them earned it in their own right. I'm trying to reflect. I know you have all those names up.
It's not something I've provided for him. It's something I literally just decided right now to share for the audience. So hopefully for the very few of you who actually watch the video, you enjoy the graphic.
Yeah, no, I think, Reaver, I think, is one that we gave it to. And I think when we gave it to Reaver, that was his blowout day. Like, he was down and out. He was washed up. He didn't even look like he was going to get out of Swiss. And then he just dumpstered, me and the other person who played that day who I cannot recall. But that led to the tie. So, that's probably the most interesting showcase player that we've had.
Yeah, it was him and Velk. But yeah, I love watching Mullet Zord just up smash people into being out of Swiss bracket. There's something special about just seeing up smash over and over and over and over again and somehow working. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, so we were talking about a lot of these players, who made it to playoffs, but now we're in top 8. This is big time. After watching last week, what are some of your thoughts going into bracket talk today?
Some of the things that just kind of at the forefront of my mind. Mad Cow is not down and out. He in the past he's been seen as a force to be reckoned with last season, and this season he is another player that seemed a little washed up and like he wasn't going to see, top. But he's made it. There's bracket granted, but
What's wild is that I actually talk to him in Discord every now and again, especially on like the weeks that we're playing, because there's like a small Discord group where we all just kind of talk about the games. He actually straight up admitted that he didn't try until just now, and I think that Switch shows, because he actually is showing that he knows what he's doing. He's showing effort, and it's nice to see again. I missed the old Molitzor. Or not Molitzor, Mad Cow.
Mad Cow, yeah,
I
no.
missed the old Mad Cow.
Well, and it's funny. I think Chai Invitational is what breathed life into his gameplay. I feel like that was the night that kind of set him off into saying like, "Oh shit, I gotta start practicing and get on my game. Otherwise, I'm not gonna even make it into top 8, even though I took second. Like last season." And props to that hype match, Mad Cow versus Head Reaver. He absolutely bodied Reaver in a 3-0 series. But that those are the underdogs, in my opinion.
The match that sticks out to me, Joe, and I can't avoid this, and it terrifies me.
Yes.
It makes me sweat. Albino Joe, people rag on you, and you always say you secretly, sneakily creep into top 8. I have a losing record against you 1-3. We've faced 4 times in official Baddy competition. I've only beaten you once. I'm not happy with having to play you again.
Chai, I don't know what to say, man. I mean, there's triangles that A can beat B, beats C, and C beats A, but it doesn't work, backwards. Maybe we're in that triangle scenario where you are, in my opinion, I think you're the more skilled player, but I think my playstyle just kind of
It just works.
it gets you somehow, some
I got
way,
a special-
somehow.
Last season I had a special treat for you. I had that banjo.
Yeah.
I got a new one.
Now wait a
on
minute.
Wednesday.
I was prepping for a cloud. You can't do this. This is bullshit.
I'll just say this: it's taken games off of some of our top players.
I'll just bust open the doors at the duck hunt. As long as you're not playing cloud, I might be able to get by.
All right. Speaking of top players, though, I think the only thing that's and it's unfortunate because you and me is definitely gonna be an exciting game. There's a lot of lore there. We have a double heavies fight with Molitzor and Mad Cow. That's gonna be a ton of fun. I think top 4 is no surprise. I mean, if you look at the bracket, it's first, second, third, and fourth seed. KK Candy Jack, Kaiser Duds, number 1, number 2 seed from 1 seed versus 2 seed of opposite groups. We'll talk about this later and see who we think really is going to get that far, but I'm not surprised to see this here. I think the only match that's really going to interest me is a Kaiser and Duds one because they play a lot, because they are currently living in the same house.
Yeah, man. We'll see what happens if one of them starts winning and the other's internet starts or their internet starts going out or something like that. We'll know some Ethernet cable somewhere is getting cut with a scissors or something. I don't know.
Lots of
That'll be fun
there.
to watch. Yeah.
So what match are you looking forward to the most? Looking at this one here, I'm looking forward to losers bracket right now way more than winners side. But what are you really looking forward to?
All these matches have like a story to them. Like just going down each one, and we get more in depth after I say this piece if you want. But I mean, KK and Candy, both of them have been talking to different people. It's one of those win it. Like everyone's been saying, oh, top 5 is going to be the 4 that we see in the winners plus you. Okay, that's kind of universal. I hear that from everyone, but who's going to win it all? Okay, we're getting a quote unquote finals in round 3, not even in the semifinals. I guess it's technically semifinals. I don't know. But yeah, so that's just going to be a battle of the powerhouses that everyone thinks are going to win. Kaiser and Duds, you already said the roommate. When the host of the podcast, slugging it out, and then Melitza or Mad Cow, just two heavies. I pick one.
Mm-hmm. Like, they're all gonna be entertaining. They all have, as you said, there's some lore here. It's gonna be fun to watch, even if it might be a bit predictable. It's still gonna be fun.
Yeah, let's actually do let's do a deep dive on each of these. So KK and Candy. Link versus, I'm guessing, the Donkey Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Just as like each character, is there any glaring weaknesses that gives just any given DK an edge over any given Link?
Really, I wouldn't know enough. I know Link's Nair has a ton of. It's fast and it's got a big hitbox, and Donkey Kong's moves not all of them are as fast as Link Nair and as aggressively big as Link Nair. However, if you haven't noticed anything of this yet, KK plays a low tier character and makes him look like a god tier character. So I think it's going to go down to the player rather than the kit for those two.
Yeah, and zoning potential out of Link is probably going to be really important against a DK.
No
And
question.
the thick body. Like if Candy could just keep the pressure on with like the range game or keeping KK zoned out, I'm gonna say Candy has the edge in that match.
I think having played hundreds of games against Candy, I think KK has this. It depends on the day though. Candy has either really good days or sometimes something just happens before even the tournament starts and he just has an awful day. So I think if I was going to make a Vegas bet, I think I'd say the stability and consistency of KK would be what I'd bet on.
Well, damn, you heard it here. Well, Kaiser Duds. Move on to that one. That's I don't know, man.
Kaiser
I feel like
thoroughly believes he's going to lose this, and I don't believe him.
What?
Kaiser thinks he's going to get trashed. If he has to play against Falco, he's said this to me, if you have to play against Falco, he does not think he's going to win. And I don't think that's a fair assessment. I think it's going to be way closer than that. I actually think it's going to be the closest match out of all four we have today, or this on Wednesday.
It's so weird. Like in my opinion, like this is a battle of mind state, for lack of a better way of putting it. Because Kaiser and Duds have both talked. I mean, have both either talked about or have shown that their mental game gets destroyed if something silly happens. Granted, Kaiser did redeem himself earlier in this bracket. I think it was against Salvo that he SD'd one of his first stocks and was just totally unshaken. And I think he just ran that back as a like one stock to Salvo's 3 that he took. Um, I think whoever wins the first match is going to win the set. And I don't know who's going to win that first match. That's a matter of who's going to SD first.
I don't know. Both of them have shown in the past that the mindset's a problem, but both of them have shown they've improved in that matter. So I want to see a spacey fight. I want to see that Fox or that Falco Wolf. I think that's going to be a great matchup.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Elephant in the room. Me versus you. I already know what you play. I have a secret. I have a Weapon X coming out for the first time on stream.
First time on stream. Hey, that narrows it down a little bit, at least. You could throw anything you want at me, man. I'm gonna do the same thing I always do.
Don't get me wrong. It is first time on stream, so if you body me, you're not seeing it again. At least not till next season. But
that's something that we didn't really touch on with those first matches. If it was a best of 3 or best of 5, I think the winners bracket matches will be decided in 3 games. I don't think those games are going to go to game 5, to be honest.
Really,
maybe KK and Candy might. I don't think Duds and Kaiser will. Out of all the matches that I'm looking at right now, I think ours is most likely to go to game 5.
I definitely believe it. I think, as I said, you and Mad Cow are the players who have the least amount of stock placed into them compared to how consistent they've been. And I don't think you're gonna get 3-0'd. I don't see a world where, especially because your playstyle counter heavy, a little more focused, a little more patient, versus my hyper aggression, I think is a good wall that both of us will have to adjust to each other. So I can see that going to at least 4 to 5 games.
Are you gonna tell me who you're gonna play?
Oh yeah, sure. Why not? I'm playing Pichu.
What?
Yeah, I took in my first of 5 against KK. He stopped me afterwards, but I 3-stocked his Bowser. Like it wasn't even close. I've been playing Pichu for like almost exclusively for the past 2 weeks.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, again, that doesn't change much.
Just do your research, do what you need. Just know that the rat's coming.
Suddenly, you play some other rat or that I don't know. Whatever. Mind games happening here. Oh, silliness. All right. Let's go down to that last match. Malitzor versus Mad Cow. Two big, thick boys going at it. I think Mad Cow's coming in hot.
I think this
he's
is a 3-0.
Yeah, I think he's just got this attitude now that he's like, okay, playtime's over. I'm done with other games. We're playing Smash now.
I'm so proud to see Mulladzor here as a rookie. Like, there was, the hype for Candy Jack. He was the rookie that got the shine, that got the luster. But in the shadows of Candy, and even more so in the shadows of Blaze, comes Mulladzor, the heir apparent to the Ganondorf lineage, and coming in top 8. Ganondorf mains in top 8. I mean, name a more iconic duo.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Malitzor and Candy for making it into top 8, but then also going down to the top 12. Shout out to Blaze and Cax as well.
Yeah, Blaze, Cax, Disenchanted. We had a lot of D2 show up.
Yep. Disenchanted specifically, he's kind of moving up ranks each season. Shout out to him. But anything else you want to say about the bracket?
I think we'll talk about this later, but if I'm looking at it now, I think the top 4 are definitely way more apt to beat the bottom 4. But I think Kaiser and Duds, either whoever loses, has an easier route through losers bracket. I think the playing Mozor and Mad Cow. Actually, no, I'm wrong. If Mad Cow wins, I actually think they have the harder route through bracket. It's just that Kaiser historically has done well against Mad Cow. So if Kaiser loses, I think it might almost be an advantageous loss.
Strategic loss.
Strategic loss, yeah, because he plays very well against Mad Cow. Whereas Candy Jack KK, you've taken a game off of Candy Jack. You can show it you can do it. I can sometimes beat the two of them in friendlies, but so maybe I think both of them have an easier time. I think there was no bracket buster. 1 through 4 stayed in winner's side for as long as they could be. So I think it's gonna go to chalk. But I think if anyone wants to be in losers bracket, it's probably Kaiser.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny, going back to the top 5 that we've heard from. I'm just saying multiple sources. You as well as the rest of the people that are in the top 4. I think all have that general idea that you're kind of like in that same category as the rest of them. So yeah, I mean, you've played many games against Candy. I'm assuming, let's assume that you're right. KK beats Candy. Candy goes down to losers. Well, in friendlies, you have the ability to beat Candy occasionally, and I on stream was able to take a game off and be a little bit more competitive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where does Candy want to go? Obviously, he wants to win, but
I think he just wants to win. Just get the W.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone wants to lose, but if there's someone who has to lose, I think Kaiser's the one who gains the most out of losing.
Yeah, I could see that.
Disclaimer: please don't throw your games. Play your heart out. Play to win, but just saying, Kaiser, you got the best options for losing.
Alrighty.
All right. So those are it's going to be definitely a good top 8 to watch. All of I don't think I've seen a bad top 8 out of Baddy Smash, and this is going to be no exception. This will be fun to watch. But not everything's fun to watch. what's fun to talk about is our favorite segment. It's the good, it's the bad, and what is it, Joe?
It's the Baddy.
I'm gonna leave that in. I know what kind of bus you rode to school now.
it
And
was
thanks
it
for
was the
sharing
fun
that.
bus.
The fun bus. All right, so let's talk about what's great right now and what's good. Shout out. We talked about it earlier, but shout outs to Mulladzor and Albino Joe, who went through Swiss bracket to get where they are now in the top 8. With
Yeah,
Cax
buddy.
and Wang, not they're the other members of the D1 buy group, and they did not make it. Y'all took their place. You earned it too.
Yeah, I mean, special shout out to Malitzor for being a D2 player as well in the top 8.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any D2s aside from him.
Yep, he's the sole survivor. And up smash can get you places, and he's shown it more than anyone. Like, yeah, of course he does more, but let's be honest, he's up smash the character, and it's the greatest thing to watch. And congratulations, Mulladzor, for being the only D2 player in top 8. Congratulations, Albino Joe, for being in Swiss and still making the top 8, being Mr. Consistent and getting the top 8 3 seasons in a row.
Yeah, yeet.
All right. Let's talk about the bad, though. And today's show has been brought to you by the number 5, which has been a real bad number so far because in the last week's games, not a single game went to game 5.
Yikes.
We had 8 games. They were either 3-0s or 3-1s. There were no 2s, there were no 5s in either game count or win count.
Yeah, which is kind of, strange when you think about it. 'Cause a lot of those matches, like on paper to me, were pretty close. Disenchanted I thought was going to have a better chance against Malitzor. Granted, I think Malitzor took Disenchanted in the regular season. Mad Cow showed that he wasn't playing around anymore. You were able to dumpster blaze in a quick 3-0. And then Cax, unfortunately, had a DC. That could have gone to game 5. So that's just all the losers bracket matches that I thought were a lot closer than the winners. But yeah, unfortunate. Hey, it kept us on schedule, quote unquote. Not that there was a schedule.
It didn't get us past 10 o'clock. We were able to watch doubles finals. Congratulations to Candy Jack and Mad Cow, by the way, for being this season's Baddy Smash grand finalists. Welcome to the club.
Doubles. And they're both still in the regular bracket. That's impressive. They're just good all-around players with a team or without a team.
Yeah, it's definitely impressive. The only people who are not Baddy doubles champions that are in here are Mecha T, who didn't play in the season, and Head Reaver, who is Head Reaver. But yeah, a lot of doubles champions in here as well. We got some Baddy stars. Speaking of Baddy stars, let's talk about the dullest of the Baddy stars. Let's talk about the Baddy here.
I was kind of thinking, what is it? Is it the variability? Is it a good counter pick? Should you even bother? And spoiler alert, you shouldn't bother picking with a counter pick. You should not bother picking WarioWare in the slightest. Albino Joe, I want you to take a guess. What is the win-loss ratio for people not who play on WarioWare, but the people who specifically choose WarioWare as their counter pick?
Oh no.
Joe, we had a segment, and I was really proud of this segment, where I gave you some numbers, right? And I talked about win and loss chances on a particular stage. Do you remember what stage that was?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember what stage it was. It was WarioWare.
Right. And it was really, really bad if you counterpicked to that stage. You were very likely not going to win.
That's what you said.
2 seasons in a row now. And we talk about the Dum Dum juice. I think I just took a straight enema of the Dum Dum juice.
Oh no, not like that.
Because it's the second time in the playoffs that I chose WarioWare and lost. Last season against G Harris, this season against Duds, and both times it was on my tournament stock or my tournament game. So, if anyone should have known not to do that, it was me. And I did it anyway, which is one of the most batty things you can do.
You know, Chai, I would ask you what'd you learn, but next season this might happen again. And I don't want to have this on recording for you to say that you learned to not counterpick with Wario.
I really don't learn. I'm an old dog. Let's just say that.
Oh, rip. Oh well, you know, you're still in it though.
Yeah. And still in it. Still in it is going to cover our next segment, Joe. We're going to spill the tea, in which you and I are going to debate on one particular thing. There are 8 people left in bracket. We're in top 8. I need you to state and then defend or explain who's coming in top 3. Who's your first, second, and third place finalists?
All right. So I'm going to talk through this bracket a little bit here. I said Candy's going to beat KK. I still believe that. So KK goes to losers. You or I, whoever wins that, KK is going to body us.
Oh, no question.
I don't think we have an option. So, okay, so that side of the bracket's kind of figured out there. Let's say Duds beats Kaiser. That one I truly think is a coin flip, but I think you do have a you're generally a little bit, on the right track when you think Duds is going to be able to get that. So Kaiser goes to losers. He plays Mad Cow. Assuming he plays Mad Cow. I'm guessing that's who he's going to see. So, shit. Kaiser wins that. I'm going to say Kaiser wins that one. I don't know for sure. So KK and Candy are solidified in my mind to be in the top 3. But then after that, Kaiser, Mad Cow, I think it's a toss-up. I would say, you know what? I think the power of Mad Cow. He took second place last season, man.
Yeah, people forget.
Yeah, people. I mean, and Kaiser's been practicing like a hound. Kaiser's. I wouldn't say he's the Cinderella story because he was never, not making it to bracket. But I'm gonna say Mad Cow. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's gonna be Candy, KK, and Mad Cow. Oh wait, shit, Duds is in there too. Fuck, Chai, this is hard.
I told you. This is something you got to debate. This is something you got to stand with. Here, I'll make it easy for you. You can kind of rebut some of mine. Because I'm pretty confident about this. It's as you talked about, it's a bit of a triangle. But when we saw Kaiser beat Candy, Candy played Kirby and Ganondorf. I know his Kirby's good. I know his Ganondorf is garbage. So I don't think when the regular season when they played, I don't think he took that game too seriously. I respect Kaiser for taking it seriously because he wanted that number 1 seed, but I was not in Candy Jack's head at the time. But I know for a fact his Link is scary. His Link is annoying. And his Link, if you can't get around his edge guarding with his projectiles, it's gonna frustrate you. And I think the only person with a cool enough head to beat that is KK. I have KK first, Candy Jack second, and I have Kaiser third.
All right. I'll agree with those first 2 spots. KK and Candy. I honestly don't know which one's going to be first. I am going to guess that I'll say it's KK again. That third spot, man, I'm going to give that one to Mad Cow. I think Duds and Kaiser have a you know, you can call it a tilt factor because that's part of it, but the other part of it is just like nerves playing on stream sometimes. Uh, when they do something silly, then they can't get it out of their head. They can't shake things easily in game. Over the course of a best of 5, that's you know that's detrimental. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, Mad Cow. So first place KK, second place Candy, third place Mad Cow.
I'm going to leave it on this so you can kind of see where I'm coming at because we're on the same page, but I want to give you some insider scoop. And I'm inspired by Thrifty. I'm doing some bracket math here.
Ooh.
If Mad Cow stepped up his game enough from regular season to now, it's a different story. But Kaiser feels very, very, very confident against Mad Cow. He looked very strong against him in the regular season. He said that and this is online, so it's different, but at LAN events, he usually does very well against Mad Cow. So when I was talking about an advantageous loss, if Kaiser loses, he gets to fight against Mozart and Mad Cow. He does pretty well against heavies in general, so I think he can win either of that. That at least places him fourth. If he loses and beats Mozart and Mad Cow. Candy Jack, KK, either of those win, they're going to fight against you and me. Actually, I just did my math wrong. Yeah, duh. I actually agree. I think if Kaiser loses, he's actually done for because he has to either play KK or Candy Jack. I think Candy Jack will beat Kaiser, and then maybe Dud squeaks in somewhere. But I think I think it's going to be Kaiser or Dud's third. Specifically, whoever wins is going to place third. Between Kaiser and Duds, whoever wins that round in winner's bracket is going to place third.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm still. I still think. Oh man, Mad Cow has the ability to beat Duds. We're talking about Kaiser. I don't know if they've played. You said they've played together on LAN and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when was it? Like during the regular season? I don't count that. Mad Cow was playing Valorant. He was in the Valorant hole. He's in a different game. Now he's switching his attention, and that Mad Cow that took second last season, second to KK. We're seeing him come online, and that's why I think he's going to be the underdog. Just blazes through bracket and finds his way into semis or finals or something strange like that.
We'll see. I mean, I'm looking at the full bracket. He lost a game against Blaze, and then lost 3-1 against KK. Kaiser to this point has been more dominant. Duds to this point has been more dominant over his opponents. I think don't get me wrong, I want Mad Cow to place third. You're the one who's been calling him lucky all season. I've been the Mad Cow stand all season. I think he's got a rough trip through bracket, but if anyone has confidence in Mad Cow, I want him to win. I just don't think he'll be able to get past his roadblock right now.
Well, we'll find out this week, and either way, hopefully we see some game 5s coming out and watch some sparks fly.
Yeah, it's definitely a great one. Top 8, there's great players, so you're not going to get bad matches. You're going to see some hype stuff. You're going to get some clips, some maybe AGS nuts on stream again. We'll see.
God.
But upcoming, we have an interview with 2 legacy players in Baddy Smash who are now part of the production team. We have Jim and we have Tree coming up soon. Before we go to that, I'd like to thank today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is the Dixon's Ice Cream Parlor. Have you been to Dixon's, Joe?
I have.
Well, are you a fan of ice cream?
Yeah, big fan.
I'm a big fan too. You gotta stop by Dixon's then. So get this: their ice cream is made from 457 mad cows all across the Midwest and the East Coast, near like the Washington D.C. area, and it creates the smoothest ice cream you've ever had. So Dixon's, their real specialty, and I really like it. They have coffee and tea flavors, such as flat white and chai. The chai one's great. And they also have a selection of candies you can blend into your frozen treats. So if you're like a McFlurry kind of guy, they have those options. I really like Milk Duds in mine, but if you just want something simple, they have the best waffle cones around, and even the cake cones are really good too. So know this: whether you're a Kaiser or an average Joe with a mullet, Dixon's gonna have the treat for you. Uh, for those of you looking for it, you can locate Dixon's Ice Cream Parlor on the corner of Calumet Street and Fieldcrest Drive off of County Highway KK. And due to, I can't say why, but the YouTube friendly term is troubling times, you can place your order online at dixonice.com and use our affiliate code TOP8 to receive 100% off your first order. Again, that's Dixon's Ice Cream Parlor. And now for the interview.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the interview portion. The Baddy Cafe. Chai and I are with Tree and Jim. How's everyone doing tonight?
Can't complain.
Yeah, not doing too bad.
Hell yeah. Chai, you ready for this?
I am ready. I'd love to hear more from you guys. You guys, I haven't, I'm an outside person coming in for Baddy Smash, and you're the progenitors of this entire thing from what I've learned. So it'd be great to learn just more about you guys and this history within Baddy Smash that probably a lot of people don't know about. And just like more about you guys as people, whether it's not really the history, but just like the historic members.
Oh yeah. And you know what? We're gonna kick this off with a question to Jim right out the gate. Jim, I'm a longtime fan of the artwork you've done. I've known you for a very long time, and I've known your roots in drawing and graphic design, and how far you've taken that. And your content is forever immortalized as an emote on the Discord and Twitch chat servers. Can we expect to see more Jim Bone originals in the future of this league that stand the test of time, like the Swain B1 activated emote?
Well, first of all, thank you. That little introduction. I guess my reputation precedes me. To answer your question, absolutely. I love doing that kind of thing. I think it's really fun, especially when it kind of becomes a little bit of your own, right? The Swain B1 activated is based off of a shitty cosplay I put together in about 15 minutes to hype up. What was that, season 3?
Yeah, you switched to Snake.
Yeah. That was fun. So it's that kind of thing that I really enjoy in this league, and it's not like this is some big anonymous tournament, right? We all kind of know of each other, or if people are new, we try to bring them in. So when people do fun things like this about themselves, it almost feels like you get to know them a little bit better, and I think that's really good just for the league in general.
Yeah, the man made the overlay. He's immortalized with the Swain B1 bracket activated emote. He also made the new one, the Joe Ree. And this man can spit bars too. He can put out diss tracks like no one else.
Oh yeah, can't forget that one. That and the logo. Like Jim, you've had such a big factor in the contribution of all the artwork, whether it's just overlays, which I say just overlays, but I'm sure that took. I'm not a graphic designer. I don't know how much work it takes, but it takes work. The fact that you have the mind to want to give time to the production quality of the league is it's phenomenal. Is there anything that kind of inspires you to do work specifically for the league, or is there any inspiration that you pull from when you make content for the league, whether it's meme content like spitting bars or the snake video, all the way to just kind of the simple things like the overlay in general, or even the Smash logo that you made? Is there anything you pull specifically for inspiration?
I think a lot of what really motivates me to sometimes take some of this stuff seriously, I guess you could say. I for some reason I really enjoy the idea of like this homegrown league of friends, but it's like got this oddly high production value for what it is. I think that's a really kind of memorable experience for a lot of people to take away from. And it kind of just sets the tone for, like, yeah, this is not exactly the pinnacle of competition, but it is fun. And I like to think that a lot of my work embodies that as we try to push forward in this esports landscape, right?
Not even, I would say we're doing amateur esports, but I don't even think we reached that part.
At least production level we're there.
Professionally amateur esports.
Yeah, well, yeah, the production level is that's pushing that bar to professional. Just the the baddie aspect of it,
You got to keep it Baddy, man. That's part of the brand.
Right. I think a big part of what separates like our sort of streams is that level of production. Like you can pop into some of these tournament streams here and there and it's like, okay, yeah, it's just a couple of friends casting, but all of a sudden there's transitions going, there's a schedule, the casters' names are on the stream in the bottom right, and it's like, oh, these folks are taking this pretty seriously. This is kind of cool. Maybe I'll tune in again.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And your contributions are great from an artistic level, but Tree, this is a question that I really appreciate because I'm really still wet behind the ears in the casting game. And you've been casting since season 1 of Baddy Smash League, and you've been a caster since the birth of just these leagues in general. Hot take time. Who is the best caster in your opinion?
Best caster.
It can be you. I like when you cast.
Oh, it's not me. Minor cop out because it slightly depends on what what kind of game I'm casting. So, I'm sure everyone's watched and seen both, the top level, like top 8 level of our games, and also seen like, just some of the clowniest games or like a game that doesn't really matter and everyone's goofing off or whatever. And the person I want to be casting with changes depending on which one of those it is. So it's really all sort of contextual on who I really want to be casting with in a given point and who I think would be the best like pair, I guess, with me, which isn't quite what you asked, but we'll wrap back around to that,
What's an
I guess.
example though? Like, for example, say let's give 2 scenarios. One scenario is you're watching someone get bodied. And the other scenario is you're watching 2 people you've known for a long time go to a close game. Who do you think you'd want for those 2 examples?
If I'm watching someone get bodied, I probably want Zed or Joey with me because we can clown around and make jokes and make the game entertaining regardless of what's actually going on screen. And if I'm watching like top level for our league, top level play, and there's history or whatever, I probably want either T2 Slade or Swift as a co-caster.
Just to kind of reinforce that, the second half of that question, AJS has like his memory when it comes to these games is like a steel trap, man. He'll make some reference to like season 1, round 3 that was streamed at 7:30 that night or something like that occasionally, and I'll just be like, bro, I don't know what I ate for breakfast this morning. What the hell? Like, he's able to bring history, context, and all the analysis to a game. That's important. So I'm just backing you up on that, Tree. I like that answer.
Yeah. And then the last thing, as a caster and as a spectator too, you have some of the hypest moments with your Ganondorf in previous seasons. And we have a new Ganondorf. He's not Tree. I don't think he'll ever fill the spot of you. But he is the Ganondorf that does dumb things that just sometimes work, and it's hype and it's glorious. What are your thoughts on the new dwarf on the block mullet, Zor?
Look, any dwarf who's gonna come in and contest for top 8, hell yeah, I've been rooting for him behind the scenes all season. Absolutely. Like Of course I'm gonna. He's playing my boy.
Oh man, Prodigy, you got Tree's blessing, Malitzor. You're the new dwarf on the block. Fucking send it. Oh. Oh man, well hey, to the two of you now. Let's do some hot takes, eh?
Oh boy.
Jim, let's start with you, man. Who do you think is gonna win it all? Who's gonna be the Baddy Smash Season 4 champion?
I'll speak from a slight amount of experience here. I actually ringed up with Candy the other day. Played a couple of games. I didn't win one. I'm gonna give it to Candy. He, from what I can tell, I would say he's maybe the most disciplined player. He seems hot. I wasn't able to adapt to his play style. Not that I'm the pinnacle of greatness at this game, but I'm sort of biased towards him now. So I'm gonna give it to Candy.
All right, Tree.
Well, unlike Jim, who decides who's gonna win based on who beat him last, I'm gonna go with KK. Because of who won last season, and which is also a terrible reason. But honestly, I just love the way KK plays. It's explosive. It's super fun to watch. He gets up in everyone's face. I don't know. I right now I give it to him.
You know, you guys didn't really listen to the main portion of the
Well, hit us again.
podcast because it's not out. It's not out yet. But no. Chai and I pretty much just said those two are going to take first and second place in some sort of
Oh.
order. Like we don't know who's going to take that first spot for sure, but
It's one of the two.
it's one of the two. Yeah, likely KK I think is where we leaned.
After you put that into the podcast, you just gotta queue up the X-Files soundbite.
Hey, wait. Chai, keep talking. I'm opening up a soundboard somewhere.
All right. Here's the real conspiracy. You can keep playing it.
All right.
Because they had an
What's the
episode where they
conspiracy?
had this in X-Files. All right. There are some supernatural moments that don't make sense, moments that don't aren't understandable, such as why Albino Joe has it so loud, but I'll fix it in post.
Ah, I'm sorry.
But if you can hear me, know that there's an imposter amongst top 8. Someone who doesn't belong there. Who do you think it is?
Oh. God. An imposter.
Shoot some shots, guys.
An imposter.
Throw some spice into this mix.
Can you refresh our memories of the top 8?
Oh, we can. All right, top 8. The winner's side: KK, Candy, Kaiser, Duds. The loser's side: Chai, myself, Malitzor, and Mad Cow. One of these players is not like the other.
Based on what I've seen this season, I feel like this is the top 8. It seems correct if there is such thing as correct top 8.
Damn.
I mean, I could see. I don't think that he's a fraud or an imposter. I think Molitzor and Blaze is pretty interchangeable as that 8th spot.
Yeah.
I think Blaze beat Molitzor in the regular season. But it's definitely.
I think I could be convinced of that.
Yeah. He got a bad spot, though. He had to play Mad Cow game 1, go into losers, and play me. So.
And that was the only 2 games he lost, right?
Yeah. He lost the top 5 players.
Yeah, you're all sleeping on my Joey. Joey, you're the odd man out.
Ah!
Hey, I'm gonna say this though, and maybe in a weird way I don't belong, because where I am right now, some baddie lore here. You guys know this. Albino Joe just wins against me. He just pulls it out, and I don't understand. You also haven't heard the base part of the podcast, but I've been playing a particular character, a special treat for Albino Joe. I've been playing Pichu and a lot of it, and I've been playing really well against our top competition. But it's always wild between me. Albino Joe beat me 3 times in a row before I brought out Banjo and dumpstered him. But since then, I
Did
still have to
dumpster
catch
me.
up.
Yeah, that banjo is bad. But I don't know, man. I just load my ass with W's before I play you, and just it's really easy to pull them out. Some way, shape, or form, I do it. Unless
What a
you're
beautiful
A
analogy.
W enema.
Beautiful image. Pulling them out.
Anyway, well, I mean, talking about our match that's coming up. Jim, let's start with you, man. What try let's do this right now. Do you want to agree on a gentleman's for the first stage?
Hell yeah.
All right, Tree and Jim, discuss what our gentlemen's for the first stage should be.
Do you want like even close to a competitive stage, or can we go anywhere?
Tree,
Anywhere.
what do you want?
I want you
Anywhere.
to make every person watching suffer. Basically, I want you to play Great Cave Offensive.
Oh gosh.
I want it to be the worst thing we put on stream that night.
Jim?
I'll save the viewers in this instance. WarioWare.
No. I'm having some
Oh,
PTSD
no.
flashbacks and that stuff.
I love WarioWare. It's always a good time. Yeah, it can be a little goofy here and there.
I'll go
but,
Wario.
you
I would
know,
do
All right,
WarioWare.
all right. I'll pull it back a little bit, but there's still gonna be some suffering. Play a map with walk-offs.
Ooh.
Ooh. Jim, what's some of your favorites of walk-offs?
I like the what is that? Super Mario Brothers 2 level. That one's key. I mean, there's another one from Super Mario Galaxy where the entire map is like curved
Yeah.
and it's got walk-offs on the sides.
Yeah, the Galaxy Observatory.
One that I think is just a bit silly is that Street Fighter stage.
Oh no.
Suzaku
It's like
Castle?
why does that have a walk-off on that side? It's
Yeah,
like
it's
what
got
is
a
that
ladder.
doing there?
Wait, are you talking about the
Like
Terry
a
stage?
castle.
Ryu stage.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
Ryu,
Ryu.
yeah.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I love Terry stage. That's a hype stage.
Oh, the like invisible wall one.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
can combo off the walls. Like
Oh,
if
that
you're
you play
right.
one-
I
Street
changed my
Fighter.
mind again. That's the one. Play
All right.
Terry stage.
It's Terry stage.
That one's
I'd
hype
vote-
as hell.
I'd vote
King of
for that one.
Fighters.
Yeah, King of Fighters on. All right.
That's so fun.
All right. Are the votes in?
The votes are in.
All right, try.
Yeah, King of Fighter stage. Psycho Soldier theme activated.
Oh no. All right. Well, we'll see what happens with that. Well, I got to prepare for that, so I'll just let's do one more question, then head out for the day. Tree and Jim, you've been very, very close to the league for the past number of seasons, as well as like other baddie leagues that are not necessarily Smash. Jim, I know that you've been working on DBFZ a lot. Tree, you are just an all-around play all sorts of things. Is there a chance that we could see either of you two play in season 5?
Heavy maybe, because I realized at some point last season, everyone was practicing more, getting better slowly over time, and like I sort of slid myself in the top 8, but I never really practiced that much. And I knew last season that like if I was going to keep being in the top 8, I was going to have to start practicing more, and I don't see myself doing it.
All right, so really that's a soft maybe you're saying. But you don't
Depends. What's the
think-
difference?
Oh God. All right. Well,
Definitely a maybe. It's
Jim?
not likely. Let's that way.
So this last season, I did not participate. as at the beginning. I just had a lot going on at the time, and I just wasn't. I do like to try to take these somewhat serious, and I play them, so I'll practice. I'll join up. I'll try to run arenas when I can.
The league does need a snake player.
Yeah, and I do, and it a lot of the same reasons, not sliding in the top 8, obviously, from my side, but to get where I did, I felt like it was like I was running up into some walls in my gameplay. And it just wasn't in the cards this season. However, about halfway through this season, I found myself on the spectator side and had an itch to wish that I was playing Smash along with you guys. So I would say
Ooh.
for next season, definitely more of like a 75-25 on the maybe for playing.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
I need to like go to some sort of training camp though. I need to like recruit the top players from the league this season and like trick them into coaching me in an arena one afternoon or something.
You know,
Because I feel like I'm at a plateau on where I'm at now, and like in order to go up, I need to like learn more about the game itself.
Jim, I don't know if you've paid attention to some of our sponsors throughout this series. There is the Chai Academy.
It's a real
I'm
thing.
unfamiliar with Chai Academy.
I will teach you how to maybe make top 8, at least 9th place.
Wow, what an honor!
He's got you. Maybe.
I think even if you don't go far, I think the format they have where there's Swiss bracket, and you can still have like competition, like a tournament setting before the tournament, is still. I think I'd feel better winning all of Swiss than making 5th this season. Like if I was someone who had to play through Swiss. Because that's a lot of
the
games. That's
Swiss
11.
format.
That's 10 games that you have to play.
The Swiss format last season that I participated in was quite fun, and it felt like every match really mattered and was hype.
Yeah, you're never down and out with a Swiss. But something else to note too, Jim. Like with this community that we have now, everyone, a lot of people are on a regular basis, and a lot of them are focused on being better. Like yeah, there's just playing friendlies for the sake of playing friendlies, but when it comes to tips to up your game, I'm sure if you log into Smash on most weeknights at like 8 or 9 or something like that, you're gonna find a crew of people, or even just messaging the looking for arena practice chat to kind of get on. Um, playing friendlies and upping your game go hand in hand. So Tri Academy exists, and then also that.
Also, just asking questions. I know KK isn't as good at doing this. And I know Duds, Kaiser, and Candy Jack are all pretty good at, if you ask them, hey, how are you beating me? Or hey, what am I doing wrong? They usually have answers. I would include myself in that list, but there are some people who can say, hey, here's what's happening. Try doing this instead of this. And you'll learn a little bit.
Well, I guess the path is laid out for me then.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Chai, do you have anything else?
No, I think that has it. As always, at the end of the show, we ask 2 questions. Tree, Jim, is there anything we might have missed that you'd like to talk about?
Nothing comes to mind.
Yeah,
And
same.
And lastly, is there anything you'd like to say to the league and the folks listening at home, whether it be a shout out, some final lasting thoughts and opinions? Speak your word to the world.
Yeah, easy. Mulitzer's gonna win it all.
He did vote for. I look at the bracket results on that Kaiser posted that bracket thing. Molitzor did pick himself to win it all.
Yeah, that's the confidence we Dorf mains know and love.
It
Easy
only
game,
takes a
easy
few
life.
smash attacks, right? You know, you're only a couple of smashes away from victory as Dorf. at
Look,
any
I've watched the
point.
last couple weeks. People just walk into his up smashes. This game is over already.
It's a magnet. Jim,
Oh man.
any last thoughts?
I'll just give a shout out to the entire production team for making this season one of the most enjoyable to watch for sure. All the new features that have been added, all the interaction with chat, it's been a blast.
Hell
All
yeah.
right. Well, this has been the Baddy Cafe interview. This has been Chai.
I'm Albino Joe.
Jim and Tree,
And
you can
that's
sign
it.
off here.
Beautiful. Jim Bone signing out.
I'm Tree.
Thank you for watching the Baddy Cafe. And as always, no
Leave
Johns.
that pause in there, please.
Leave everything in there, Chai. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Baddy Cafe.
The intro and outro music was produced by Headweaver, and this is a Baddy Smash production.